Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 7:07. Good morning. Thanks for tuning into O'Connor and Company. Starting your day here in the nation's capital the right way. And we'll keep you informed and entertained. Coming up at 8:05, Mark Morano, Climate Depot, to talk about this huge rollback from the EPA that will be a game changer, taking out an Obama-era greenhouse gas regulation. Then at 8:35, Morgan Wright, he's a cybersecurity expert, and we'll get his expert opinion on how this investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is going. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Bethany Mandel, stage mom of a kid appearing in Winter's Tale, American Ballet Theater at Trump Kennedy Center tonight.
She'll be there tonight and tomorrow night and Sunday during the day, and you'll see a Mandel in the flesh. You
are in big trouble because she's going to get bit by the bug, and this is going to be your life now.
All I do is drive it back and forth.
Yeah, well, you have no idea. Joining us right now, friend of the program, good all-around guy, and part of the SUNUNU political dynasty. That's how you got to say that. I don't know why, but the SUNUNU political dynasty out of New Hampshire. He's now president and CEO of Airlines for America. Chris SUNUNU. Mr. SUNUNU, thanks for joining us, sir. Always good to talk to you.
Good morning. Good morning. I am dying to hear more of the stage mom stories.
Well,
I see that TV show late at night when I'm flipping around about stage mom's gone crazy and stuff like that. So don't let that bug get you. Don't get bitten by that one. But other than that, I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
The dance moms are worse than any of them, so it's going to be an amazing thing to watch. Mr. SUNUNU, there's a lot that's affecting the airline industry right now that's sort of looming, but I want to start with this very curious announcement from the FAA having to do with El Paso. This was implemented overnight here, that there's a temporary flight restriction through February 20th, grounding all commercial cargo and general aviation for a 10 nautical mile radius over El Paso, which is a major airport. And all they're doing is saying that it's for special security reasons. Is there anything else that you know about this, and how is this affecting the industry?
Yeah, unfortunately, not much. This came out of the blue. I think it kind of even hit the FAA a bit out of the blue. But they really express that they know how disruptive it can be, but we don't know a whole lot. It's for kind of security reasons. That's all we really know.
Is it coming from the Pentagon? Do we know? Is it coming from the Pentagon or from DHS?
There are multiple agencies involved. That's all we've really been told. And so we're hoping that over the course of the day, this happened late last night. We were on the phone with them, all throughout the night, and kind of getting the carriers. Southwest and American Airlines are big carriers in there. And El Paso is not a small place. It's a very large place, but it is literally right on that southern Mexican border. There's always issues along that border with security, with cartels, with a variety of different things that really could be sparking this. But they've set it for 10 days, which really is interesting. So
it is.
We don't have a whole lot more information other than it's pretty serious. They're taking it seriously, and they know it's going to be disruptive, and hopefully we'll have some more info. So if anyone's heading to El Paso, you're not heading to El Paso today. I guess that's the news.
Or connecting through El Paso.
Am I Googling how far is El Paso from Area 51? Yes, I am. That's what I'm doing right now.
You're the queen of conspiracies today, Bethany, and I love it.
I really am.
Well, it's not a conspiracy that if Congress doesn't get their act together with, at the very least, a continuing resolution, there's going to be major disruptions in air travel this weekend because of the DHS funding question mark. First of all, there's certain parts of air travel, including TSA and such, that are considered essential. So what exactly will be affected if Congress can't do something by Friday?
So if they can't do something, and we're hopeful that something will get done, my guess is there'll be a lot of ruckus between now and about Thursday afternoon. But senators, typically want to go home for the weekend. So our hope is that a deal will be struck late Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. If there isn't, on the short side, over the next week or so, we think it'll be okay. Because, again, no one is getting their pay withdrawn from them. It'll be a furloughed type status for some employees. TSA folks will be asked to show up, not get paid, theoretically, until it gets resolved. So those first week or two are usually okay. It's, as you know, like it happened in October, it really hits us like on that third, fourth week when they see that first reduced paycheck. And so we're hopeful it'll get resolved. Even if it doesn't, we're hopeful it'll be a small bump in the road. if it really goes on like that last one did, now we have a much more serious impact. But the good news is this: they are negotiating. Right, you have Democrats on the Hill talking directly to the White House right now, trying to figure something out. So sometimes you see these like two crosswinds that it's like two rocks butting heads together. It's not really that situation now. They truly are working something out. Nobody wants to see a shutdown. They just gotta figure out what this final bill is going to look like.
I can't imagine, though, that we're going to see exactly the same playbook that happened in October, because if I were a TSA agent who saw what happened in October, my threshold for leaving my job would be extremely low. I would say I'm sick of not being paid to show up for my job. I wonder how much this is going to impact the workforce at these agencies, who are probably sick of being used as a political football in these silly intramural fights on Capitol Hill.
That's absolutely right. So there are bills up there that would allow, especially on the air traffic controller side. Now, that piece of it in the short term is okay. There's bills up there that would say, look, these guys are going to get paid. That if basically a federal worker is forced to come to work, you have to pay them. But I think they want this political football. It's terrible. It's really a terrible way of governing and doing business. Give me what I want, or I'll hold the entire American public hostage on their travel plans and all the cargo and everything like that. It's really a terrible way of doing business, which I'm hoping they realize, and we're hearing some more positive movement there. But here's another one for you. There's still stories out there of some air traffic controllers and TSA folks still not even having their back pay from that October-November shutdown. So from an accounting standpoint, it isn't completely resolved. And to your point, it just adds to the kind of the demoralization factor that can really get exacerbated. If a shutdown every couple of years is one thing. A shutdown like every couple of months is just too much for families to bear. And so Congress has to get their act together.
And it's no way to legislate. They're reacting to current issues on the ground in Minnesota and other jurisdictions with ICE enforcement. And we're speaking with Chris SUNUNU, President and CEO of Airlines for America, which your new job, by definition, is nonpartisan. But you are factually pointing out that it is one party right now that is sort of moving this threat of shutdown along for policy purposes. Put your old governor's hat on. When you were governor of New Hampshire, is this even a question with the governor with regard to cooperating with federal law enforcement authorities on something that is clearly the federal government's jurisdiction, immigration enforcement? What do you think of the way governors are handling this right now?
Yeah. The quick answer is no. You're always going to cooperate with law enforcement. I mean, that's and even Democrat governors know that. And regardless of what they say publicly, there is cooperation there. I think. I don't want to get too deep into the ICE thing, but I think Tom Homan was saying he had agreements with 80 of the 87 counties in Minnesota, and what you do is you walk in and you do it kind of one-on-one, and you explain what the situation is. So you have to actually physically be there when tensions get hot, when things get exacerbated by the media or whatever it is. I can just say from a governor's standpoint, I wouldn't just pick up the phone. I'd say, okay, everybody come in the office. We're locking the door. We'll figure that we're not going to leave until we figure this one out.
Yeah.
And again, you kind of
that's the grown-up way to do it.
Well, yeah. And I would argue most governors are there. They really are. But yeah, there's never an issue of actually cooperating with federal law enforcement. I mean, that's crazy.
We'll leave it there. We'll let you get back to the insanity of the airline industry, although I know you're trying to breathe a little bit of rational
It's a great
thought.
industry. I'm loving it.
It is a great industry. No, if only you didn't have to deal with all the people in Washington who make life miserable for you. But we like it.
My biggest stress lately is that I'm a Patriots fan. And so I've had to I'm coping with that. I'm dealing with that in a variety of different ways. But being here in Washington is a nice relief sometimes. It gives me a little bit of a break. Although, man, just buying food here is expensive. That's like do you guys find that going out to restaurants is incredibly expensive in this town?
It's right up there with Manhattan. It is
wild.
Probably one of the most expensive places. Well, the good news is, though, as President and CEO of Airlines for America, you have an endless supply of those little bags of nuts, which is always cool to have. That's part of the contract, right?
Living on Biscoff cookies has not been a healthy way to go for me for the first few months. So I'm trying to go to the salads maybe order a little more fish, something of that nature. But yeah.
Understood. Good. Oh, no, I've seen Airplane. You don't want to have the fish. Don't have the fish. It's bad for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah. Thank you, Governor Sununu. Always good to talk to you, sir. It is 7:16. Well, we have a Bizarro World update on a Bizarro World story that we shared with you about a month ago. It has to do with a squatter in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Bethesda, Maryland. And let's face it, Bethany, Mandel, if you're going to choose to be a squatter, you go to the high-rent district, right?
Yeah,
What's the point of squatting in some, little two-bedroom squalor house out in the, Beverly Hillbillies neighborhood? No, before they moved to Beverly. No, you go to the multi-million-dollar locations there. And this woman, she's an Instagram influencer as well. This woman who was busted living in this house. She was busted. She was jailed. My memory is that she was sentenced to like 30 days, but she only served 12 days. She's now been released. And guess what? She went home. And by home, I mean someone else's home. She's squatting in that mansion again, Bethany.
So she's brilliant because she's doing this in a part of the country where everyone is so afraid of being called racist that they're not going to really go after her. Squatters have incredible rights in blue areas because homeowners are not protected. This is really a brilliant ploy because you can pretty much commit crimes at your leisure in Montgomery County, and somehow
if you claim victim status,
right? Correct, which she did. I think it's brilliant. I don't see why more people don't do it. I just want to put out there that I do not live in a mansion, and my home would not be pleasant to squat in. But I mean, this is a logical end result of liberal policies.
Yeah.
That make it very untenable to be a homeowner in places like Montgomery County.
Her name is Tamika Good. She is an African-American Instagram influencer of sorts. She's got very expensive clothes, very expensive shoes and handbags. She lives in someone else's $2.3 million home. Gary Collins of Sinclair has been all over this story, and he caught up with her for a follow-up and then sat with the lawyer. Now, go ahead and listen to this. And just so you know, there is a long pause. When this lawyer is asked a very simple question, there is a long pause of silence. We, for radio purposes, have inserted the sound of crickets. Those crickets did not. They were not there in the original audio, but we think it really enhances the experience. Let's go.
Get out my face.
Ma'am, why are you in a $2.5 million property?
After months of delays, Good was convicted on all counts on January 22nd, sentenced to 90 days in prison. Pollard continues to face extradition for multiple vehicle theft-related crimes in Pennsylvania. 11 days later, Good was released on appeal on February 2nd after posting a $5,000 cash bond. Activities at the house started again soon after her release. For days, a woman wearing similar shoes and green pants was seen moving in and out of the alleged Bethesda squatter home. We spoke with Alex Webster about his client.
Look, there's a question. It's really the number one question on everybody's mind. How did your client, Ms. Tamika Good, get inside a $2.3 million property?
Cut. I don't know if I can answer that. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Can I cut?
We're
rolling.
Can I cut?
I mean, we're rolling, my friend.
You don't cut, sir. He's just staring. He's just staring at the reporter. He won't say anything. He's just crickets.
All right, can you re-ask the question?
Sure, absolutely. So the number one question on everybody's mind is how your client, Ms. Tamika Good, got into a $2.3 million property.
Well, Ms. Good did her research. She found out that a certain property was under the control of a certain group, and that there was a title issue. Due to the title issue, she was able to assume the property under squatters' rights.
So in Maryland, there isn't a particular squatter right. Am I missing something?
Well, it's not a particular squatter's right, but it's known as squatter rights.
It's known as squatter rights, aka we don't enforce the law here.
Right. And this is a lawyer trying to figure out the weasel words to use to make sure that his client can continue to break the law, which is exactly what you want your lawyer to do, I suppose. By the way, I was mistaken. It was a 90-day prison term, but she only served 12 days of it, and now she's right back in her $2.3 million. Well, not hers. Well, it might as well be hers. Oh, by the way, here's the pièce de résistance, the chef's kiss, the cherry on top. Are you ready? She has posted a no trespassing sign at the house.
Oh my God, I love it. This reminds me of the people who do all the ICE enforcement stuff where they're fighting against the ICE agents, and they check the IDs of people that they're working with to make sure that they are. And it's just this like total lack of self-awareness. I love it.
Same vibe.
She's really owning the libs. That's what she's doing.
7:24.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for joining us here on this busy Wednesday morning. We've got a lot in the news that we're trying to stay on top of. Just spoke with Chris SUNUNU, president of Airlines for America, gave us his prediction on the funding battle in Congress and also a little insight into the air traffic closure over El Paso. If you missed that interview from 30 minutes ago, good news. After the program, we'll be uploading our podcast. You'll be able to grab any hour of the show, any interview that you want, but you got to subscribe. So go subscribe to our podcast. And while you're there, it's just one more click. Subscribe to the Mom Wars podcast. Mom Wars podcast. The proprietrix is our very own co-host this morning, Bethany Mandel. Bethany, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on this beautiful warming up Wednesday.
Yes. It's warming up so much that the poop is starting to thaw in the Potomac. Have I timed this wrong? Usually Meredith and I don't get each other Valentine's and birthday presents because we go on cruises. I've already got 2 cruises this year booked, European cruises. We cannot wait. One in September with Young America's Foundation. Check that out, Young America's Foundation Cruises. You can cruise with me and Meredith. It's going to be an awesome cruise. And then in December, we're doing a transatlantic cruise for the holidays. And then usually what we do at Valentine's Day is we have a nice dinner and we say, oh, your Valentine's Day present is our cruise. We usually do that. This year, I thought, I'm going to think outside the box. I'm going to get Meredith a little present here. So I got her one of those VIP memberships to the place down in Georgetown that rents out kayaks and stand-up paddleboards and stuff. So
fun.
You can just go up anytime, and it's beautiful. What a great DC thing to do, right? You go down there and you do your kayaking, and it's like a annual membership.
So
the problem is she's going to have to do it wearing a hazmat suit.
So yes, it's disgusting, but can we come? Because our problem is that we don't have enough adults. We have too many children and not enough adults.
Oh, that's right.
But
they need supervision.
Sure. Yes, if you and Meredith come, now we have enough adults.
Absolutely. And you can get the tandem kayaks. We really do love doing that, and we do it in D.C. We do it in Annapolis and various spots in the Chesapeake Bay.
It's going to smell great.
But I don't think we're going to do Potomac this year because the ongoing raw sewage problem is reaching, like, they're going to have to condemn the river at this point. And I don't know if you remember, but a couple of weeks ago, there was a report out saying, well, the good news is that we've tested the water and there's no E. coli over any of the typical numbers and any of all that stuff. And it was like, wow, that's shocking. It is absolutely shocking that there's no increase in E. coli or other bacteria and diseases. And, well,
I admire the chutzpah to lie, that bald-faced. Well, honestly, it was like during 9/11 right afterwards, and they were like, there's nothing dangerous in the air at ground zero. And you're like, oh, yeah, sure, all the asbestos. I'm sure it's fine.
Yes, if you found it shocking that number, that it seemed like there was no increase in E. coli due to the raw sewage pumped out by the metric ton on a daily basis in the Potomac, you were right to be skeptical, although you think it was lying. And somebody very wise once said that never write off to corruption and deceit when it comes to government what can be easily explained by incompetence. And it could very well be that they weren't lying, they're just incompetent. Because what was reported was that there was a 2,420, I'm guessing the measurement is microparticles, MPNs, per 100 milliliters of water, which is within the range of, safety when it comes to E. coli. They reported 2,420. The actual number is 242,000 MPNs per 100 milliliters, literally 100 times higher than what they reported. Somebody screwed up with the decimal point.
It's hard. Math is hard, Larry.
Carry the 10, for God's sake.
That's why they work in the government.
Move the zero. Yeah, it turns out that the E. coli in the Potomac right now is through the freaking roof, which, of course, is normal considering it's been weeks now of raw sewage continuously pumped in to the river, and they say it's going to go for another 4 weeks. According to DC Water, this is their statement. We identified a human error through internal review, corrected it immediately, and updated the information as soon as it was confirmed. Sampling and monitoring have continued. Okay, 2 questions. You identified the human error through internal review after you had already announced this. Maybe you should have done that check before you put it out to the public, number 1. And number 2, have you fired the human who committed the basic math problem here? Of course not. Nobody gets fired from D.C. government.
Oh, Lord. I want to know how this has impacted all the waterways. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone who, stood up and said things like, this is the impact region-wide? But I feel like we've heard nothing. Crickets.
Great point. There was a time when U.S. senators would see their full-time job, or at least a good portion of what their job is, representing their state in the U.S. Senate, to, protect your state from neighboring states screwing with you and messing you up. Can someone please tell me why Mark Warner is spending all of his time complaining about ICE and immigration policy, and he has not once said a damn thing about the fact that the District of Columbia is pumping raw sewage into the Potomac that is showing up on the shores down the Chesapeake Bay of the Commonwealth of Virginia? Why has the governor not said anything about it? Why has Senator Tim Kaine not said anything about it? All they care about is raising your taxes in Virginia, and meanwhile, they're letting D.C. pump all this raw sewage that will pollute the shoreline of Virginia for God knows how many years.
This is the problem with local governance, especially in this area, is that they always have their eyes on national politics instead of just doing their job of basic governance. I mean, I think this is the issue with democratic local government across the board. They care much more about, opining on the latest national controversy than just making sure we have really basic services, and it's why people are moving to red states at such a clip. But it's a real sin, and what's even worse is that they're just going to keep on getting elected. And here we have Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, and no lessons are ever learned.
And they're not looking out for Virginians. They'll blame it on Trump at some point. Oh, it's because he's reduced environmental standards and global warming and things like that, when they find out how uninhabitable the shoreline of the Chesapeake Bay is going to be for Virginians coming up this summer. They'll never blame it on D.C., of course, because Democrats. All right, there's actually more to this story on the Potomac River. It's a big deal. We'll get to it a little later in the program. Right now, though, it is 7:44. Critter News time, Bethany Mandel. I don't know how you feel about Canadian geese, but famously, Meredith thinks that they are the most evil creature God has ever put on this planet. She hates them. They're awful, and they're everywhere, especially right now. Because the National Mall is covered in ice and snow still, they have sort of taken over, which, of course, means there's frozen goose poop everywhere as well, which is going to be part of the cleanup once it thaws.
This really is the winter of poop.
It is, between the Potomac and geese do produce an incredible amount of feces, 2 pounds of droppings daily, contaminating parks, waterways, all through Washington, D.C. Now, D.C. tried to mitigate the geese on the mall and on other national monuments by using trained border collies to chase them away from the high-profile areas. But that's not happening right now. Also, for some stupid reason, Canadian geese, some people call them Canada geese, by the way, I'm not quite sure why. Canadian geese are protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918, making it illegal to harm them, their nests, or their eggs without a permit. You cannot tell me that these geese are protected because they're endangered or in some way at risk of extinction, which, by the way, would be a glorious day on this planet if these horrible creatures became extinct. Why in the heck are we protecting these things? They're overpopulated. There's more of them than pigeons at this point in D.C.
Yeah, they are the true rats with wings. I would like to share with you my biggest no, not one of my it's up there, my childhood traumas. My dad thought it would be funny to encourage me to feed geese. Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
It was awful.
They're so aggressive.
They're so aggressive. And I got so hurt that I called my mom because my dad had visitation that weekend because my parents were divorced. Shocker. And I got so hurt that I called my mom, and oh boy, did my dad get it. They are so aggressive. They're so nasty. Was your dad
Alfred Hitchcock?
No, he was just on too many drugs, and his decision-making process was impacted by narcotics. No, I hate geese with every fiber of my being, and they loiter around one of the playgrounds that my kids love to go to, and I think that they should be shot. I really think they should not be allowed near where humans congregate.
Because you start walking towards them, they stand their ground. They don't get out of their way. They don't know their place in the circle of life ecosystem here, and they have no understanding that we can kill them at a moment's notice because of our fire sticks. And we should. All right. One more great Critter News story that I want to share with you. It comes out of a local CBS station in Louisville, where police were called to a neighborhood to help locate a missing 3-year-old. What happened next? Straight out of Lassie.
It comes via police body cam footage from Louisville last month. A missing 3-year-old child. More than a half dozen officers on the search. They sent up a helicopter, but had no luck until this happened.
Oh, what's up, dude? There's a dog. Where's he at? Let's go.
That's Officer Josh Thompson responding to a dog that seemed to have something important to say.
It led me all the way back to the backyard. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, this kid's in this backyard.
And sure enough,
the dog went right to the back bumper. Check the rear here. Goes to the back bumper, just sat there.
Yeah, he's right here. After a quick lesson in car locks.
Grab and pull it. There we go! I don't think I've ever seen a happier kid in my life. He jumped out of the car, bear hugged my neck, and wouldn't let go.
Good job, buddy. The dog had cracked the case.
Lassie found him. Man, I don't know where the dog came from, but it was a blessing from God that day.
Bethany, this is Timmy stuck in the well. This is Lassie. This is incredible.
I'm going to, in the 5 a.m. hour, I encourage all of our listeners to go back and listen to the podcast, to listen to the 5 a.m. hour. You made fun of Truman. And this is dog. Truman. Yes, my dog, who I love. He lassies my kids in the same way. He would do this in a heartbeat. He's lassied our kids multiple times. Dogs are magic. And
don't slander me. I did not make fun of your dog. Everyone can download the podcast and hear it. I made fun of your dog's incontinence. I made fun of the fact that your dog pees everywhere. That's not making fun of the dog.
Happy or scared.
Or rescuing a child from the well. President Trump needs to give this dog the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
100%.
This is the
made for
greatest story.
Trump. It's made for Trump.
In the world. It's 7:54.